Curse of the Puppet Master was released in 1998 in the hopes of reinventing the series. It's about a puppeteer and his daughter who hire a gas station attendant to work on a special project for them. The protagonist is Tank. He's big and dumb, and of course he gets picked on by the village asshole.
No. You're not doing nothing that I can see, except standing here like a fucking moron.
Yeah, because every bully talks like a 1920s mob kingpin. Tank, whose real name is Robert, has a gift for carving things out of wood. The daughter, Jane, is taken aback by this, and her father, Dr. McGrew, played by George Peck, offers him a whopping $35 a week to come work for him. Seriously, whoever wrote this movie must have really been trying to set it in an earlier decade. This was 1998. People were getting paid a lot more than $35 a week. And I don't know what the big fascination is. We can't even tell what the hell it is he's supposed to be carving. Why are they so amused with the little pebble he carved? For all they know, he could have just gotten bored at work and started carving random lizard turds. So they take him back to their fun house in the middle of the woods, where they introduce him to Toulon's puppets. Yeah, we'll get to them in a minute. McGrew wants Robert to carve him a new puppet, and Robert blindly takes the job. There's a mean sheriff investigating the disappearance of McGrew's last assistant.
I'm not implying one sweet little thing. Just since your former assistant seemed to drop clean off the face of the world, and you being the last living soul to see him before the plunge, I just felt it was my duty to come and talk to you.
He must be the worst cop in the world. Didn't anyone tell him about due process? He just walks up to McGrew's place and basically insists that McGrew's guilty. At this point in the film, we really have no reason to question the man, and that's mostly because of Peck's performance. George Peck has as much on-screen charisma as Guy Rolfe, and is hands down the best part of the movie.
You want to know the secret of how to make a dead thing live? You put your soul into it.
He's really sincere, and we're led to believe that he has good intentions. Of course, Robert and Jane start falling for each other.
Got big hands.
Comes with the rest of me.
I've got a big penis. They go out for a little romantic stroll in the woods when they run into Johnny B. Douchebag. Of course, Robert has to save the day, almost killing the bastard. The bully actually breaks into Jane's room and gets attacked by Pinhead. Now we're finally getting to the puppets. There are no new faces, they're all the same puppets we've come to know in the past installments. Thank God there's no Decapitron. But here's the thing. They don't do a hell of a lot in the movie. No doubt to save on costs, the filmmakers cut back on the stop motion. Whenever we see the puppets in action, they're obviously being moved by a piece of wood or something. In fact, the best parts with the puppets happen at the beginning of the film, during the opening credits, where it shows us clips from the past 5 movies. Dr. McGrew tails the bully back to his place, where he sets Blade and Tunneler loose to kill him. When we see Blade move in for the kill, he looks like crap. Look how lifeless he looks. Don't get me wrong, the jerkweed gets what's coming to him, but aside from some slashing and thrusting, we don't really see the puppets do anything. Although having Tunneler drill through his crotch was a nice touch. So after all this build-up, Robert finally finishes carving all the pieces from McGrew's masterpiece, only to realize that McGrew is really planning on transferring Robert's soul into the new puppet. For whatever reason, the puppets turn on McGrew and carve him into fish bait. Not to mention, the puppet that Robert turns into looks horrendously stupid. Curse of the Puppet Master isn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's obvious that very little effort went into it. I know how much work is involved in the making of a movie, and I'll never shove that aside, but when there are 2 shots where I can see the boom mic pop into the picture, someone wasn't doing their job. Little flaws aside, it just isn't that interesting of a movie. It's not even scary, with the exception of this one part where Jane digs up a burnt-up puppet and realizes this is what became of her father's last assistant. That's freaky as hell. But the fact that we have a Puppet Master movie with barely any puppets is inexcusable. It was made as a cheap cash-in to keep the franchise alive, but with a little more money, you could have gotten back those cool little stop-motion effects, which makes the puppets all the more threatening, not to mention fun to watch. I'd probably have to say that out of the 6 films, this one has to be the least inspiring. It's got a good premise, but the lack of energy and, need I repeat myself, lack of puppets, forces me to give this one a 1.5 TV heads.
Look at the stop. Right there. Concentrate.
All right.
You looking?
I'm looking.
You sure?
I'm looking right at it.